physics glasses for all those nerds out there.
The Thomas Bryant jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Ramos, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pidone, Rob Watson. Good morning, Cleveland. Today is a beautiful Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. A little bit after 10 a.m. Guys, no question what the headline is today. Our Cleveland Guardians, for the first time in 184 days. The Detroit Tigers no longer lead the American League Central. That is our Cleveland Guardians. Before we dive into all that, Jack, I got to give you credit, man. You never once wavered from your belief that the Cleveland Guardians were going to make the postseason.
Cap.
After all of that drama, the losing streaks, the Luis Ortiz news, the Emmanuel Clase news, you stuck to your guns. And now they're looking on the inside and control their own destiny to winning the division.
No.
Not only making the playoffs, but winning the division. Jack, I want to give you a pat on your back because, like I said, you never once wavered.
You know, and I still think I was one of the more positive people in the fan base. But yeah, guys, I mean, at the end of the day, the biggest thing is right now we are witnessing the death of the Detroit Tigers. And it is one of the coolest things of all time. It is the greatest collapse in the history of baseball now. I mean, you look at the Red Sox in 2012, giving up a 9-game lead in the last month of the year, gets Terry Francona fired so he can come to Cleveland. This is worse. AJ Hinch might be managing a Little League baseball team by the end of the week. Like, this is one of the truly craziest things of all time. This team loses Emmanuel Clase. Pretty much everyone you sign in the offseason does nothing, and somehow negative run differential the whole entire year. You find your way here. Hey, Tarek, you're not a long snapper. Greatest thing of all time, guys. Tarek Skubal at this point, like, the 3 biggest games I've ever seen him pitch now. It's Game 5 last year, stabilizing his team last week, and then last night, and he lost all 3, man.
Shout out Michael Hook Klee. Put this on Twitter. I thought this was
What's up
funny.
with this guy, bro? Is
He
he just
really
Will
tur-
Levis, bro?
He
What's
really
up with
turned
dude?
into Frank Ragnow last night. What was he doing when he snapped the ball? I mean, I
Dan
will
Campbell
say
needed a long snap.
there, you know,
There was so
and
much
obviously,
time to
like,
just turn and
there's
throw
so
it,
much
bro.
to get into with this one game. Like, this is like a Browns game almost, where you come in and you've just got headline after headline. First off, hope David Fry is cool.
How do we go this far? Honestly, that's on me for not saying that right away. Prayers up for David Fry. That was one of those. It was scary.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
I came to find out,
personally for that this
Stephen
morning.
Vogt at the press conference said, no, it didn't go off the bat. It was straight to the face.
And there's no better, luckily, there's no better place than Cleveland Clinic for him to go in. And, you know, they said that he was probably going to stay the night. We'll get some sort of update on him today. So that's cool. But the intrusive thought, I'd be lying to you guys if I, said otherwise, crossed through my mind right after this happened. And when Skubal threw his hat right there on the mound, I was like, he's going to unravel. Like, how can you not unravel after you did something like that? And he really did. And what's crazy about this is, like, it reminds me, I feel bad for saying this, it reminds me of when Corey Kluber would melt down against the Yankees, because the Guardians just have this guy's number. Tariq Skubal is the best pitcher in baseball, the best pitcher in the American League for sure. And in your last 3 massive games against him, playoffs last year, this season, just a series ago, and last night, you've handled him. And I think that has rattled the Detroit Tigers. To Jack's point, I mean, I think they're what do you do?
So
If
cool
you're the
last night, right
coach-
before that half inning, you've got nothing going offensively since that double play from David Fry early on in the game. They play the video right before Tarek Skubal goes on the mound of Lane Thomas's grand slam from last year, and like you kind of the ballpark got going a little bit. You know, like you could feel like, okay, maybe there's some energy comes out. And yeah, Nick, you made a great point about how it is tough for any pitcher when you're a human being. If you hit someone in the face, no matter how big a game is, it's going to affect you a little bit. You saw him spike the next pitch when I think it was Valera came in to pinch hit. Like, yeah, like that stuff happens. And the way it compiled, like, it's the most Cleveland Guardians #guards ball thing ever in the world to not hit a ball out of the infield and somehow still find a way to score 3 runs off the best pitcher in the league.
Credit to Tony Paul, Detroit News. He tweeted this out. This was a crazy fact. Coming into this game, Tarek Skubal had, in his career, 10 wild pitches, 7 errors, and 1 balk. He accomplished all 3 of those in the 6th inning against the Cleveland Guardians.
Right, he was just the whole team.
The Bob was so cool when the whole entire crowd was chanting his name, like especially because last year, like Scooble gave it to the fans a lot during Game 2, and he absolutely shoved, and rightfully so. But so it's so cool anytime when that guy comes back to Cleveland now, and the fans can get inside a little bit.
Dude, how about like just the fact that 6th inning, I mean that was like the crucifixion of Detroit's season. Like they really just handled them, and it was guards ball personified. It was nothing stellar. Ball never even left the infield, and you've got Jeff Passan, you've got all of the national people chiming in saying that this is just what this team does. And if you're a fan of the Detroit Tigers, if you're a fan of probably just Major League Baseball, you have to hate the Cleveland Guardians because the way that they do things makes no sense.
And you also you have to put Carl Willis in Cooperstown. Like, I think just today, he should just go get inducted. I don't care if there's a class ceremony or not. Gavin Williams, when you were looking for him to be that ace at some point in his career coming into the year, he's a guy you took in the first round. He's always struggled with control issues a little bit. Like, man, I mean, he's finally coming out and doing it. This second half has been ridiculous. Like, you can't ask for more out of Gavin Williams. Like, starting to throw strikes, the way he bounces back after that home run to Riley Green, like, that's a tough spot, you know, because 2 runs against Tarek Skubal feels like 2,000. So, like, when you can find a way to bounce back, get through that inning, and then what was it? I think 7 Ks from the bullpen once they came in. They were ridiculous. Sabrowski almost had an immaculate inning. Cade Smith almost had an immaculate inning. Like, you can't ask for more.
12 strikeouts from the big rig Gavin Williams. And then you mentioned the bullpen combined for a team total 19 strikeouts. Just absolutely ridiculous. All right, we're not done, even close to being done talking about the Cleveland Guardians, but I got to tell you about our friends at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford is the biggest Ford truck dealership in the entire state. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks, and they won't be beat on price by any other Ford dealers. Don't let that short drive to Canfield, Ohio prevent you from saving thousands of dollars on your new dream vehicle. Over 500 vehicles in stock on their lot. There's never been a better time to buy. There's never been a better time to just go down to Canfield, peruse. As I said, over the 500 vehicles in their lot. They want to make deals for you guys. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing and same hometown level of service. Scan the QR code now or go give their website a visit, fairwayfordohio.com. Again, that's fairwayfordohio.com. Man, what a morning to be a Cleveland fan, guys, specifically the Cleveland Guardians. You know, you talk about how hot they are. 17-5 in the month of September, 11-1 in the past 2 weeks. Flip it over for the Detroit Tigers, 5-14 in the months of September, 1-10 since September 11th. We mentioned this. Their lead over the Guardians stood at 15.5 games entering play on July 9th. Jack, you alluded to it. This would be, quite literally, no hyperbole, the biggest collapse in Major League Baseball history.
Yeah, I mean, A.J. Hinch is a World Series winning manager, but that's never come without buzzers on all of his players' chests. So I don't know how much I really trust that guy. And the thing is, the Tigers aren't that great of a team in the first place. You know, it's just we're in not the best division in the world. You know, like Jack Flaherty, very solid pitcher. You're going to see him tonight. He's pitched well against the Guardians twice this year, lost both times. So there is some reason to believe, like, hey, maybe that kind of corrects itself for him. But past those two, like, we don't even know who's going tomorrow yet. They had to pull a Skubal even a little bit.
Throw a bullpen game.
I mean, they fucking did last year the whole entire playoffs, right? And like it worked a little bit, but they're not that good. I mean, their lineup kind of sucks, to be honest. Like, once you get past the top 4 or 5, like, there's not a ton of threats at the bottom. Once you get past Wenzel Perez, he's kind of the cutoff of being the last good player in that order. I don't know, man. They're not that good of a baseball team. It's the opposite of last year, where the Guardians get off to way too hot of a start for what they are. You come back down to the average. I mean, the Tigers got swept by the Pirates in the second half, the Marlins in the second half, like the A's, I believe. Like, they lost to some really, really, really shitty baseball teams. So I don't know. I don't think they were that great in the first place.
Jackie, we were talking pre-show, and I loved the kind of comparison you made. Is we have Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
And he's obviously an everyday player.
Yes, he is.
The Tigers have a Tarek Skubal. They're equivalent of Jose Ramirez.
Exactly.
Who only pitches once every 5 days.
He does. So when you pitch him 2 times in 6 days after the contract you give him, and the year he's given you all year, you expect him to go out there and get the job done. Because if you don't, your season's over. Like, I'm not going to come out here and say, yeah, division's over. We got 5 games left. That'd be dumb. But there was a new, like, level of heart sink in the clubhouse last night for the Tigers that they haven't hit yet. That was their true chance. Like, there's the classic adage in baseball, you never go out with your ace on the bench, right? That's why they set him up for game 1 of the series against Gavin Williams and to come back and pitch again on Sunday. Losing this one was a massive, massive blow. If you're playing Battleship, we just took out the big one.
Oh, I like that comparison, a little Battleship. Well, I got to admit, I can't believe we've gone this far without checking in with our big play correspondent.
No way.
Jason Banky. He's live from his living room.
go! Let's go! Those Fugazi Tigers thought their 15-game lead was something, but we had something for them. We had the Guardians Gauntlet, and we snapped that lead to nothing. You ask, what is the Guardians Gauntlet? Well, it consists of the pitching stone, the relief pitching stone, the up-and-coming player stone, the base running stone, the fielding stone, and the strongest stone of all of them, the Jose Ramirez stone. Nothing can stop us, but we got more work to do. Back to the big factor.
Thank you, Jason Banky.
Do you think his wife willingly records those?
Yeah, blink twice. Blink twice.
How about the guards? Come on.
Does Stephen Vogt deserve to be the AL Manager of the Year for the second year in a row, Jack?
You know, I think so. I wrote an article about it on Guardians on SI about a week and a half ago. I mean, look at what happened last year. You have a team that won, I believe it was 94 games when it was all said and done. You didn't have a lot of injuries compared to normal. There goes my phone to the ground. This season was like my phone right now. This room falling apart a bit, the phone to the ground. Like, and there's times where you think, hey, we might not even make it through this thing. But then you just got to stabilize the course, redirect, get back on track. And yeah, what he's done with keeping that lineup believing every single day. When you have scored the dead last amount of runs in the American League and your pitching wasn't special all year long, you could have turned over, rolled over, gone to bed, gotten ready to play 18 every single day as soon as you hit October 1st. And they all chose not to because they have a winning culture.
How far? Nick, go ahead.
I was going to ask Jack something that he said about AJ Hinch before we did the Iron Man.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shook over it still. Do you think that there's a chance that they actually fire him? Like you said, I know he's won he's won a World Series and obviously like thought to be one of the best managers in baseball. And I know Tiger fans put the blame on their front office because they did nothing at the trade deadline, despite everybody knowing, okay, we've got this big lead in the American League Central, but we've got some holes. Guardians have exploited those holes. To blow a 15.5 lead point, like. We'd be calling for Stephen Vogt's head in Cleveland, wouldn't we?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look at their deadline, too. Like, they needed bullpen help. Like, everyone talked about, okay, all the Tigers need to just complete this team is bullpen help. They go out and get Chris Paddock, who's just a can. I mean, he stinks. And then Paul Sewald is even worse. So, like, they did absolutely nothing. Yeah, like, the Illich family was like, yeah, we'll punt on this one.
Was that a
give a little Bajorkas, you know?
Is he a sleeper agent?
What?
Was Paul Sewald a sleeper agent?
Yeah, maybe Paul Sewald was it. Just get some intel and throw it back for the fellows for $7.5 million, whatever it was.
Shit started to crumble.
But yeah, no, I mean, AJ Hinch, I mean, when you blow the biggest lead in baseball history, yeah, you have to consider getting rid of someone. When you look at the core, like Skubal's not going, Jack Flaherty probably not going. Your hitters like Torkelson and Riley Green, they're young. You're not going to move on from them. Like they need to add and move on. Like they have also the one thing to add about them though is like Jackson Jobe is out for the year. He's a better pitching prospect than any pitcher we have in our system, and he's major league ready. They have 2 of the top 5 prospects in baseball. Period. Like the Tigers are not going anywhere. This isn't going to be like we're going to break them for 1 year. They're only going to get way better. So like we're going to need Bazana to like come up and match these kids too. So like they're not going anywhere, but the manager might be going somewhere because you got a lop ahead if you lose 15 games.
Massive game for the Cleveland Guardians again today as they sit atop the AL Central. It's Tanner Bybee for guards going against Jack Flaherty for Detroit. I want to give a shout out to the big factor. Why? Because we won our parlay yesterday, guys. Cleveland Guardians, obviously that run line hit. They won the game. Gavin Williams, we bet 5. He ended up throwing a dozen strikeouts. Guardians obviously over the 2.5. And the Nerfy.
That's too easy, man.
We'll get to our parlay later today. But Jack, my question to you now. How far can this Guardian team go? I don't want to write them into the playoffs
Wait
yet.
a minute. Yeah, we got to take care of business here still.
Yeah, we got to take care of a little bit of business
tonight.
here. But in a theoretical world, so we're talking in a theoretical world, right, Ryan? In a theoretical world where this team gets in and wins the division as the 3 seed in the American League and matches up with the Tigers again at home, which is what would probably happen. This is not the last you'll see of the Detroit Tigers this year. I think you beat them. I do think you're the boogeyman for them. Things get really, really, really tough after that, Ryan. That's all I'm going to say. Things get really, really tough.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, Cleveland Guardians headed for the postseason, but we have another team in Cleveland about to kick off, and that's our Cleveland Cavaliers. They made some offseason moves right before tip-off. I believe it's October 6th, I want to say, is the first game when Cleveland takes on the Bulls. We'll talk about that, their offseason moves. Welcome Thomas Bryant to Cleveland when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack Ork, Nick Pannone, Rob Watson. Before we dive into Cavaliers basketball, got to tell you about our friends at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste, and that's beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell Garage Beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com, or feel free to scan the QR code one more time. That's drinkgaragebeer.com.
Could I get a quick guards note in before we flip to Cavs?
Me too.
I just want you guys. I want you guys. Like
just keep going.
We've only been doing this show for 8 months, and I want you guys to really understand and appreciate that, like, you're living through Cleveland sports history with this Guardians team coming back from the division down 15.5 games. Like, I was thinking this morning in my career, like when I first started in like sports media and really blogging and podcasting was like just kind of getting started, but the blog thing was more what I was doing. LeBron was getting ready to leave Cleveland. It was the last NBA Finals, and then he was getting ready to go to the LA Lakers. And I had, radio stations, TV stations across the country hitting me up doing interviews. Then I remember like the next time something like that happened was when Baker got in that Thursday night football game and beat the New York Jets. And I'm like on national TV that next morning talking about what the atmosphere downtown Cleveland was like. Like, this is up there with those type of pivotal moments in Cleveland sports lore, because this is something that's never been done before. It's something that we'll probably never see again. To erase a 15.5 game divisional lead, like, I appreciate this, guys, like, because this is truly, like, you guys are covering Cleveland sports history.
I was gonna say Tarek Skubal throwing that ball through his legs was like the modern day Marquise Pouncey in the Brown Steelers game. That's where my head was at. But yes, I agree. I mean, dude, it's so crazy. Like, because Terry Francona was a legendary manager who won 2 World Series for the Red Sox, and him blowing a 9-game lead in 30 days was enough to warrant him getting fired, which led to the greatest era in Cleveland baseball history. Like, 15.5 in the middle of July is fucking nuts that you can come back from that, especially considering our offense. Like, it truly is like the most incredible. It is arguably, I'm going to say it, Nick, it is not far off the 22-game win streak, like it just in terms of like how crazy it is that it happened and how unprecedented it will be. Like, it's not crazy. I
think this is better. This is better than the 22-game win streak, because like
adding in someone else's pain as well. Yeah. Give me Scubal's misery,
especially like I hate the Tigers.
Yeah,
man. Like,
right. A little bit. Yeah,
they've given us hell. Like, Miguel Cabrera still visits me in my nightmares. Like, they deserve this a little bit, man. Like, I absolutely love this. I think that this run that the Guardians are on right now, more impressive than the 22-game win streak.
I mean, it's because it was literally broken a franchise, like, to its core. A franchise will be back next year with a bunch of really good prospects, but for now is broken.
Well, I'm very excited to see what Mr. Bruce Drennan has to say when he rolls in here in about 30 minutes. Bonus time.
I told you.
7 p.m. tonight. Bruce_Drennan on next. All right, guys.
W plug.
We got to flip it over because our Cleveland Cavaliers play basketball very soon. They're making some off-season additions as the season's about to tip off. Free agent center Thomas Bryant, famous from our Big Factor intro, has agreed to a 1-year deal with our Cleveland Cavaliers. Of course, so Thomas Bryant played a key role on the Pacers' second half run to the finals. He now enters his 9th NBA season, standing at 6 feet 10 inches. Going to provide some much needed depth for Cavs front court. Is this the most loaded front court the Cavs have had in some time?
I think this is the best roster we've seen since the LeBron days.
Can you guarantee me an ECF appearance?
I won't guarantee you anything because there's a lot that could go wrong. We got a lot of injuries to deal with. We got some players with an injury history. But if everyone stays healthy, I think this is a team that should go to the NBA Finals. I think it's the most loaded roster in the East by far, if you turn off all the injury sliders and everything. But I truly think this is something we've been asking them to do for the longest. You were basically only relying on Evan Mobley and Jared Allen in the front court, and there's so many games where you see Allen just gas, and it's like his effort at some points is just you don't like it because he's so tired. We got 2 capable guys that could relieve him and that could actually play good minutes for a team, and they both do different things, and they bring versatility because they could both shoot a little bit off the bench, and Nance and Bryant. So the lineup versatility this brings is great. Lonzo Ball, great addition to games where sometimes you could sit Darius Garland because maybe he's a little bit of a defensive liability at the end of the games. You could put in Lonzo to guard someone and just let Donovan Mitchell handle the ball. So I'm loving what they're doing. I think this is the year where they make that push and finally break through without LeBron to the finals.
Nick, you famously once said that the Cavs could not hold Thomas Bryant's jockstrap. Well, now other teams will have to hold Thomas Bryant's jockstrap.
You know, this is like the most underrated move that the Cavs have made all off season long. Like, I know Lonzo Ball and the Okoro trade is going to be the highlight of what everybody's talking about when the regular season tips. Obviously, the other big storylines are going to be getting Garland healthy, getting Strus back into the lineup. Thomas Bryant, listen, he's a guy that's going to play 6 or 7 minutes a night on average. He's a role player off the bench. But he's an NBA champion. He's what I call, and you guys know, and I'm sure everybody was sick of hearing me talk about during the playoffs, he's a playoff riser. And that's what the Cavs are after. This move shows to me that Kobe Altman understands that this is now about competing in the spring, not really in the winter, certainly not in the fall. You need to win your basketball games in the spring, and you bring in a guy like Thomas Bryant to do that. He's bigger than Jared Allen. He's more physical than Jared Allen. In the games that they've played head-to-head, I believe Jared Allen and Thomas Bryant have played like 13 or 14 times head-to-head. Thomas Bryant dominates him in every single statistical stat, both in regular season and playoffs. So this should bring some really good competition to Independence when they practice every single day as well. I think like it's an upgrade from what the Cavs had at that spot last year, because he has that same championship pedigree that Tristan Thompson has, but he's only 28 years old and he can actually contribute a little bit on the floor.
Well, in addition to Thomas Bryant, the Cavaliers and Killian Hayes have agreed to a deal. The former 7th overall pick in 2020 will add to the Cavaliers guard rotation.
You have 2 picks for him, right, in the G League?
Yes.
I think he's on the Charge.
He will.
I know, but it was 2 G League
He'll
picks.
play for the Charge, but he obviously is a guard with Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Lonzo Ball, Sam Merrill, and Craig Porter Jr. I supposedly because of his 4 years of service time, he can't sign a 2-way deal with the Cavs or any other NBA team. But Cavaliers getting ready. They open up training camp at IMG Academy in Sarasota, Florida next week. So Cavaliers basketball, it's almost time to let them know.
Yeah, it really is. I agree with Rob. Like, the outlook on this team is so promising, and that's why, like, I'm just jazzed about this Thomas Bryant signing, because like the East is wide open, man. Halliburton's not gonna be there this year.
Brown out.
Jaylen Brown, yeah, like Tatum's gone. Like, dude, you look at this, and like Karl Anthony Towns, different beast come postseason. All right, now if Jared Allen decides that the lights are too bright again in the Eastern Conference clash at Cavs-Knicks, you've got a guy in Thomas Bryant that you could bring off the bench, and he's not Karl Anthony Towns. Let's not get that mixed up. But he could at least throw some elbows down there in the paint. He's not going to get pushed around. He's not going to have fractured ribs because he's letting guys push him. Like, Thomas Bryant, formidable force down there, and this really shows me that the Cavs are serious about making things happen in the playoffs.
Definitely like that they're kind of building to beat the Knicks, because I think Ball would be the matchup for Brunson if he's going to try to get into his post bag, because, you know, he loves to just go down low no matter how short he is, and then just having as many bodies to throw at Karl Anthony Towns as possible. I just really like that they're changing things up. I love the DeAndre Hunter move last year. I think that's going to pay dividends going into this season. And I like that we're bringing in bigs. We're not just banging our head against the wall and hoping something different happens. I like that we're going to provide different looks on the basketball court.
All right. Well, guys, the number 1 offense in the Detroit Lions has a battle with the number 1 defense in our Cleveland Browns as they clash at Ford Field in Detroit on Sunday. We'll talk about that when we get back right here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Big Factor on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone, Rob Watson. The number is 8.5. That's how many points the Detroit Lions are favored on FanDuel Sports Book over our Cleveland Browns. Guys, it's a clash of the number one offense versus the number one defense Sunday, 1 p.m. at Ford Field. We saw last week in a primetime game against the Ravens, the Lions offense rushed for 224 yards, 5.9 yards per carry. Lions averaging 34.4 points per game. That's second in the NFL. They rank third in yards per play, seventh in yards per carry, first in completion percentage, and second in quarterback rating. This one's going to be interesting. We've seen the Browns shut down Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs. They got a two-headed monster in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm excited for this game. The number's 8.5.
I think Detroit is really good, man. And I hate to do this on a victory week, but this is probably like the Wednesday you turn over the page to the Lions for real. And I can't shake that unless you get that offense. So all of this is going to be uphill sledding. I can't shake the feeling in the pit that I kind of feel in my stomach that come Monday morning, we're going to be doing the Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco debate. I really think that after this week could be the right time to make that move to Dylan Gabriel. They need to show you something offensively in order to hang with Detroit. Like, as good as this Browns defense has been, this is probably the best opposing offense that you're going to see all year long. And the front is awesome. They're going to give you a shot in every game. I just wonder if the Lions have too much horsepower with those two backs, with Jared Goff, with St. Brown, with Jameson. Like, it's just do the Lions have the most balanced roster in the league? Probably.
Offense for sure. I think that's going to be the rising thing that we do notice is because in a game where Green Bay has a really good defense, but they had so many injuries on offense that the offense wasn't that explosive, you were able to stay in that game because your defense can completely lock them down. When we play a team like the Ravens that's got the pieces where a good defensive game against them is 200 yards, but they're going to have a chance to score points. And if we don't turn the ball over so much and have the punt and all that, and maybe it's a closer game. But I think a good game versus a team like the Lions on defense is you hold them to about 20-some points. But how do we score 20 points when we only average 12 a game? And that's where we start to run into the issue. So until we get that figured out, hard for me to confidently say we're going to beat the Lions unless we're scoring like a defensive touchdown and returning a kick or something.
Yeah, I mean, you say this about pretty much every game in the NFL, but it's in the trenches, right? Detroit Lions second in pass rushing in the NFL, obviously, in sack percentage. The Browns are number one. You saw Monday Night Football. 7 times they sacked Lamar Jackson, who probably a little bit more mobile than Joe Flacco. Aiden Hutchinson and Al-Quadin Muhammad are their top pass rushers.
He might get hurt this game.
Pair that with the fact we're going to be seeing Cornelius Lucas and probably KT Leviston. I don't like the Browns' odds.
Yo, KT's a good run blocker, though. Don't love him in pass pro, though.
Watch practice today. I think you've got to get Jack Conklin back. Like, make no bones about it. I mean, they gave that guy $60 million
How many games
extension.
he played last 3 years?
And he has been far from playing all 17. I'll tell you that. Like, they got to get him back in practice. I think Jack Conklin starting right tackle makes you feel a little bit better because Cornelius Lucas has started over 50 games in his career. He's a 12-year vet. It's not like he's a complete can. I don't think it's much of a step back, truth be told, from DeJuan Jones at left tackle. So
might be a step forward at left tackle. I don't know.
That make of that what you will. However, I don't think that changes the fact that the offense is still going to have to be really good against a ferocious pass rush.
But Dan Campbell will give you chances though. Because he is so aggressive, and there will be the trick play. Like they're gonna break all that out versus us, and it could go one way where it all works and we get embarrassed, or we capitalize on a aggressive 4th and 5 in their territory, or they go for a trick play and maybe they mess it up. We capitalize, we're ready for it, but all I could think about is how the defense is going to be able to save us in the game. They'd have to play perfect. They'd have to make all the plays. We need another big game from Smith kicking the ball. And then we need 1, maybe 2 offense. I feel like this is impossible to win this game without 2 touchdowns.
All right, trivia question. How many games has Jack Conklin played in the last 5 years?
Probably like 7. I don't know. That's what it feels like, bro. But
I have no idea, Jack.
16 games in the season. He's played 35 games in the last 5 years.
I was about to say like 30 and 5. Yeah,
ain't good. That's not going to fly.
A lot of money.
Are we worried the fact, well, obviously, you don't want to go play on the road, especially in Detroit. Is it maybe better for Joe Flacco playing in a dome? Could we see some type of offensive spark?
It was great weather. on Sunday,
Yeah.
up until the rain, and we started moving the ball more when it started raining. So I don't know. And in week 1, it was solid weather. It was great weather in Baltimore. Didn't look great there either. I really just think that pass rush is there's no chance. If they could get to Lamar 7 times and the Ravens have a better O-line than us, I don't see if they're going to be that aggressive in blitz. If Hutchinson's going to be in his bag and they got the linebacker, they were spying linebackers and they blitzed them too. I don't see what answers Joe Flacco has for that other than we block 6 or 7 people. And then our receivers haven't been, when they do get open, he doesn't find them. And then sometimes they don't have the most separation. It just spells a lot of bad stuff. I don't love the matchup.
Can you hold the Lions to under 30 points at home?
Under 30, yes. I think they could do that.
Yeah, I think so too.
But then that's asking us to get to
Yeah, that's the issue
24
we got to
in
get
the
there.
game.
Yeah.
PFF ranks the Lions first in overall offensively, first in receiving, third in pass blocking, fifth in rushing. The Browns defense is ranked first overall, first in run defense, first in pass rush, and seventh in coverage. So it really is offense versus defense.
It is, but then, remember what I said about Zay Flowers and why I didn't like that matchup for our corners. Same reason I don't like St. Brown or Jameson Williams. Those are the type of dudes that could kind of get off on us. I actually believe in Delpit and Schlesinger versus Laporta, but then the running game, it's just a lot. Taking everything away from the Lions is a really hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to do, especially if the defense is going to be on the field as much as they usually are. So,
all right, well, guys, what do you say we try to cash another parlay?
let's do it.
Nick, you want to tell everybody about FanDuel before we do that?
Absolutely, because we've got some football tomorrow night. You got some Gardos tonight, and that means you've got to get on FanDuel with us. FanDuel is getting you ready for the NFL season with an offer you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, you bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is finally here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download that FanDuel app today and get started. You got to be 21 plus and present in Ohio. First online real money wager only. A $5 first deposit is required. Bonuses are issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, Jack, you ready for that sweet, sweet music?
Oh, let's do it, baby. How about it, guys? Tanner Bybee, season on the line. Time to end the Detroit Tigers plus 492 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. We're starting out hot with the Cleveland Guardians money line. They got to get it done, take that lead straight up in the division. We're not messing around with any tiebreakers around here. Tanner Bybee, 5 strikeouts, coming off a great start last time out against the Tigers. Jack Flaherty, he's pitched okay against the Guardians this year. One thing he has done, though, is strike them out a lot. We're going Jack Flaherty under 5.5 strikeouts. And last but not least, Rob, he loves the Nerfy, but today, no, not today. We're going the Yerfy. Yes, run first inning. We're drawing first blood early on in this one. Plus 492 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Guards money line. Tanner Bybee, 5 strikeouts. Jack Flaherty under 5.5 strikeouts. Yerfy.
Yerfy. So, Rob, for those that don't know, you're the king of the Nerfy.
Yeah.
What made you want to kind of switch it up and you're going the Yerfy?
So I just believe in the team. It's when you play a sport and you have such a massive failure that Detroit had last night, on top of how bad they've been playing, I see it all falling apart for them today. I've heard rumblings of a bullpen game today, and I just think after you find a way to score, 5 last night, and even getting those bunts off school, I think they're going to come out swinging, and that whoever starts the game isn't going to make it past 2 innings. I don't even think. I think they're going to be just. Wow. I see us just going crazy tonight.
Wow.
Completely getting our shovels out, burying the Tigers.
Do it. Come on. The Motor City
Stand it up
Kitties.
for real.
Shovels.
Yeah.
Here, kitty.
All right, guys, we've covered the Cavaliers. We've covered the Cleveland Guardians. We've covered the Cleveland Browns. We've got to cover our Ohio State Buckeyes. They begin Big Ten play when they take on Washington, 3:30 kickoff in Seattle. We're going to be covering the game at Lakewood Truck Park, Nick, for a little pregame Ohio State show.
Can't wait. We'll see you guys out at the Lakewood Truck Park at 2 p.m. So come out to the Lakewood Truck Park this Saturday. It's Ohio State. It's Washington. The big factor will be at the Lakewood Truck Park. It's completely free to get in. It's an awesome bar atmosphere, indoor, outdoor, weather dependent. We'll be out there no matter what. And for Ohio State fans, for $20, that gets you a member card to use during all Ohio State Buckeye games, where guests receive discounted drinks with the card, a Buckeye Social t-shirt, and a chance to win prizes every Ohio State game day. So you'll catch all of us there rooting for the Buckeyes this Saturday against against Washington. Come on out to Lakewood Truck Park. Have some fun with us.
All right, let's look a little bit real quick at this AP poll. Ohio State stays 1, 52 first-place votes. Miami goes up to number 2, 7 first-place votes. Penn State, 5 first-place votes and third. LSU, Georgia, 4 and 5, but no first-place votes. Oregon at 6 with 1 first-place vote. And 7 is Oklahoma with 1 first-place vote. But they, of course, got the news they're going to be without John Mateer for a little while. He broke his hand. Jack, Notre Dame against Arkansas.
No, that's what I was going to say, though.
3.5 point
Notre
favorites.
Dame is going to Fayetteville to take on Arkansas on Saturday
By
at
the way,
noon.
I've been there. That stadium is massive.
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
loud. No, it's a
Big,
tough
man.
building to play in.
Big.
Arkansas is coming off a loss. You know they're going to be pissed off. Notre Dame's without their top 2 corners. When we go on air from the truck park, I am going to be shitting bricks in a tied football game in the 4th quarter. So that is going to be a great experience.
You guys hate mobile QBs. Taylor Green could make some plays.
No,
back
yes, he
there.
can.
So
yes, he can. And he will.
That'll be an
because
interesting
Chris
game.
Ash is a terrible defense that he ruined.
We will be there. We will be there. No
Bring
matter
back
what.
Al Golden.
Nick, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Kent State. Boy, they played number 7 Florida State. They lost 66-10 just to turn around.
Damn
and
it, they
play
almost
Oklahoma.
Closer than the score.
And
Closer than
play
the score.
How does
Oklahoma.
Vegas get that exactly right?
And play Oklahoma, guys.
No John
Obviously,
Mateer.
no John
No
Mateer.
Upset
But they
alert.
still give
Upset alert.
Oklahoma a 99% chance to take down the Golden Flashes.
What if I told you?
Yeah.
Could Kent State possibly get
30
their
for
second
30.
victory?
How many? What was the percent chance of the Guardians to be in first place this month? Nah, no chance. Oklahoma.
No chance. Alrighty, well, everybody,
Feel
that's
the
the
Kenny
show.
Burn.
Appreciate you tuning into the Big Fact here on the Big Play Sports Network. Shout out Fairway Ford, shout out Garage Beer, shout out FanDuel, of course, and shout out Lakewood Truck Park. We'll be there this Saturday for pregame show for Ohio State, Washington. Go Guardians, go Browns, go Cavs, go Buckeyes. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow. Same people, same time. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll catch you later.